We're hearing from experts about the importance of linking land use and energy planning. So, why isn't it happening? The reality is that there are a complex and interrelated set of barriers to the integration of energy within land use planning and development. Simple barriers, such as insufficient staff capacity, restricted funding, and limited technical skill and expertise, can inhibit local governments. A community energy plan is designed to address these barriers and unlock the potential to achieve significant benefits. So, what are those barriers, and what steps can planners take to address them in an effort to move forward?
There's a lack of upfront capital. And so I think we need to start looking at opportunities, the need to consider sort of the life cycle assessment of any kind of facilities decision or infrastructure decision. And I think that planners are able to help start to think through those things so that a municipal council might be concerned about the next 4 years and making it look really good that they've balanced their budget and they didn't have to, borrow money or do different things. But I think it's that's been a barrier to implementation that we've heard of, is sort of the financial capital costs up front, and then again that lack of sort of having enough staff capacity in small communities, I think, is where planners who maybe are working as consultants might see a demand as well to kind of provide that resource and support for communities that may be lacking in that internal capacity. Or maybe there's an opportunity for regional planning boards or other organizations to help develop these plans on a larger scale.
Because community planning is non-statutory, because it's not something that usually has specific requirements. The values in really getting buy-in to this concept that this needs to be thought about very early. So from a municipal perspective, getting buy-in from my colleagues in other divisions, from Toronto Water and Solid Waste, that maybe there's things that we can do that if you left it too late sort of in the development or in the land use planning process, those opportunities wouldn't happen. So, and the primary beneficiary of this relationship is city planning, because they have a lot of control over this process, but in the past we haven't been integrated. So over the last few years, that's really what I've done, and there's been tremendous value in aligning land use and energy planning, because it's allowed us to really get towards eventually implementation of projects.
Mindset. So the mindset that it's not necessarily a municipality's responsibility, it's a utility or somebody else. It's not our responsibility, so let them decide and not bring it into the planning process. Another one is, I guess, the lack of understanding that the benefits that a community energy plan will bring to a community, and the economic sort of offshoots that will come from higher or better conservation of energy and better alternative fuels. But then the other side of that is our energy system is relatively cheap. So to make the changes that we are suggesting is difficult, because sometimes the business case isn't there today. Maybe in 5 years it will be, but when you make these plans for a new community, it's a 10-year plan or 20-year, it's 100-year. So to make those decisions, say, well, on today's energy prices is short-sighted. So that getting beyond that short-sighted decision. I was in Copenhagen, and Copenhagen's natural gas prices are 5 times higher than ours. So they are forced to look at alternative ways. So I think get beyond that short-term look at what we're today and thinking 5-10 years of what energy prices could be, and as carbon prices come into place, energy is going to go up. So let's think of ways to conserve energy and make energy closer to where it's used.